Okay, so it has been an exhaustive 2 days, and I'd like to thank you for staying this last session. So in this last session, we will have a very brief summary of the sessions we had in the last 2 days from the chairs. Some chairs are not here because they had to leave for the airport to catch their planes. And then we will have a brief mentioning of what is the way forward. First of all, we had some hot debates during some sessions. That was what we wanted, in fact. So we invited the speakers knowing that there were some differences in the opinions. But we should also, I think it should be fair if I can make the following comments. First of all, the world is not in good order. That has been seen in the last crisis, 2007-2008. But we had many more crises, which has been shown in different sessions in the last 30 years, more than 100 crises. And according to Credit Suisse, which is a conventional bank, the wealth distribution is very problematic. The numbers that I have cited in my first presentation, they are coming from Credit Suisse Research Department. And it's obvious that a world where 70% of the population owns only 3% of the global wealth is not a place to live in. So therefore, we cannot say this is a market failure and we have to take this as given. So we cannot take it as given. Even if it is market failure or whatever, we have to find solutions. So we have to find the real roots of the problems and we have to address those problems. And from time to time, there were discussions whether Islamic finance is a solution or not. And there were differences of opinion. First of all, Islamic finance or whatever, we have to consider all alternatives. So there may be other alternatives for financial system. We should also consider them. And we may not need to call it Islamic. There are some principles. The principle, I will just mention one of them, which says interest is not allowed. So you have to consider a system which does not allow interest. So this is a viable alternative. It deserves to be alternative because it is for sure different from the conventional system. Interest is not allowed. So it may be successful or it may not be successful. It is a different topic. So we have to discuss that in a different format. And secondly, there were some religious also opinions where people said that interest is not banned, so you can use interest. But that is only a very small opinion of a very small group. It's not the opinion of all scholars. So personally, if you talk to Muslims personally, most of them, maybe more than 70-80%, they will not agree with using interest. Even if the scholars allow, even there may be some scholars who may say it is allowed, 80%, 90% of these believers will not use it. Because if you read the verses where the interest is banned, the warning is very sharp. It's very, very sharp warning. So nobody would like to be in a position that that warning is describing. So therefore, interest-free system is an alternative, whether you believe in it or whether you don't believe in it, whether it is workable, whether it's not workable. It has to be there, and some people will use it, and some institutions will work on it. If they are doing something wrong, then that's their problem, and that has to be corrected by the regulators. So with these corrections, of course, the name of the forum, if you look at it, is Forum on International Financial Systems. So we look at all possible potential alternatives. Because what we would like to do, we would like to make the lives of humanity easier. It is easy to sit in a room in a university to work on an academic paper and to design any models. But there are millions of people who are suffering to make their incomes. There are millions of companies who are trying to make their living, and they would like to follow a certain path. So therefore, we have to consider the realities as well. It's not, I am coming from academia, of course. I know what's happening in academia. We are not against what is being done there, of course. But the work that we are doing should match the realities of the world. So therefore, this distinction should be made very clear. And the forum is targeting to solve the critical problems that we are having in our financial system so that we will have a better equitable distribution of income and we will have a better place to live. So with these points, I would like to now invite Dr. Durmuş Yılmaz for his comments. Please.